Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 61 of the Easy SEO and More podcast. I today have Toby Younis of the Messages and Methods podcast. They actually do a live cast every week. Now, you probably know I don't do a live cast. I record these, but they do a live cast every week on YouTube. Then they turn that into a podcast. But not only that, they teach people how to do that themselves, which is pretty awesome, I think. Hey, Toby, welcome to Easy SEO and More. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, and thanks for the invitation. I looked forward to being here with you, Ty.
No, I've been looking forward to this for weeks, ever since I was on your podcast. What, about a month ago? Yeah, I'd say.
That's right.
That was a great time. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be in another week. We're recording a kind of a roundtable for different people as well. So I guess I'll be joining you then in just another week or so.
January 19th, we are having a panel that we've invited 6 guests to. We divided it up since Shelley and I are male-female partners. We divided it up between 3 males, 3 females, and they're all experts in various areas. You, of course, we rely for your expertise. We rely upon for your expertise in SEO.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about digital marketing in 2022 because none of us expected to be in this position in this year. Distance conversations, distance selling, distance producing. I mean, it's really an amazing time in that sense. And we want to see what they think about it. So yeah, that's January 19th. And we look forward to you being on the panel.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you about what's going on in 2022. You did this 2-week lockdown in March of 2020. That extended almost through half of 2021, got let up, coming back. It's almost the Wild West again, of especially the internet. The internet seems to be redefining itself every couple of months right now, which is I agree with you. It's very exciting. For some people, it's very stressful. I love it. I love change like that.
We have always been very good at pivoting and adopting whatever the changes are to our benefit. And I think, we've been live streaming since 2014. So conceptually speaking, the idea of interacting with people and now our guests, our customers, et cetera, via this medium is something that we're completely comfortable with. And we've built a studio around that.
Yeah.
That was the expectation when we built the studio.
That's fantastic. And before we started recording, we were talking about a couple of things, but as you know, the Easy SEO and More podcast, what I try to do is give my listeners one really good actionable thing to go away with. What would you like to tell them about?
Wow. I suppose there's 2 angles that I can take on it because they both produce revenue for us.
I like both of those.
Yeah, anything that produces revenue, right? So the first, of course, is our messages and methods. And we have a strategy that starts with a live stream, and then we leverage that live stream into podcast. And that podcast is distributed to 10 different podcasting platforms, including Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Google, et cetera, all the big ones. In addition to that, we transcribe every one of our live streams and we turn that into a blog post, an edited blog post. And then we turn it into short form products like they're called videograms and audiograms, messages that are under 60 seconds that are posted to things like Instagram and TikTok and now Twitter. We're now live streaming to Twitter. So Twitter is accepting a live stream now. So what we're doing is leveraging all of our content, that one live stream, into a broad variety of content types so that we can Shelley calls it, my partner calls it, have a social media storm. It's increase your presence in social media. That generates activity that we always follow up with some sort of freebie, as you recommend, that collects email information. And the email is our way of staying interactive with our clients. And what we're trying to do is create as much activity, as much distributed content, as much leveraged content as we possibly can without spending, 80 hours a week doing it. And we think we've mastered that. So that's one stream of revenue because that results in clients who we either go to our classes, our boot camps, or we actually end up producing their shows for them. And we have 4 of those clients. We produce 4 other people's shows every week. And they pay us for that. And then the second one is residual income that comes from a relationship with Amazon. And like everyone, I started with an Amazon account that was just a personal account. Eventually, like everyone, I started paying for the Prime because I was ordering enough things, especially in the past 3 years, that the Amazon Prime freedom from shipping expenses was an investment, and it's repaid itself dozens of times.
I agree.
But along the way, Amazon started pinging me and said, "What about a shop? You do a lot of shopping. Why don't you have a shop?" So we were able to start a shop that has not only some of the we have them, a part of the shop called Toby's Favorites, things that I buy that I like, and then there's one called Shelley's Favorites, things that she buys that she likes, and then there's the podcasting shop, there's the live streaming shop, there's the photography shop, there's the video production shop, there's the video shooting shop. So and the way that produces revenue is it doesn't cost anyone extra to buy from our store. They pay the same price as, we were talking about you buying another chair. If you buy it from our store, you pay exactly the same price, and we get a small commission from Amazon. So every month we get a little check from Amazon that shows up in our business account from things that people have bought from our store. About 2 weeks ago, Amazon invited us to Amazon Live. That means you can do a live stream that they support on their own channel. It's called amazon.com/live. Go visit it. And it's people who, like us, are selling products that they're familiar with. And while you're talking about the product, there's a what's that channel where they sell stuff? I don't know the name because it's not the shopping channel, the home shopping channel, or QVC, right. Yeah. Right. So down the bottom, you can see all the things that they're selling. Well, you pick that list of things that are being sold at the bottom. And so if you're talking about some of the photo equipment you bought recently, that's down at the bottom. If somebody clicks on that, it takes them to the shop, and you get a commission on that sale. And you get a commission every time that video is replayed and somebody buys from it. So we waited a long time for the invitation. We're not even sure what the criteria, because we've been applying for several years now. Well, not several years, for about a year, and we weren't getting any response. Then suddenly we get an email from them that says, how'd you like to start an Amazon Live? And we thought, another way to generate again residual revenue not related to our business. So
and that's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds, because Amazon Live really is not very old itself, and so it's been around maybe 2-3 years, I think.
I don't know if it's even been that long. I would have said more like a year to a year and a half.
I was going to say, I think I first heard about it about a year ago, but I wasn't really looking for Amazon to do something like that. So
right.
I've always loved the idea of residual income. And you and I were talking before the show about how we both feel that it's important for any business to figure out some way of doing residual income just as a part of their business. And I like how Amazon is doing that, because you can live stream, you can talk about your business and your stuff, and you could be getting paid basically from Amazon to do that, because you're talking about Amazon products at the same time. That's kind of cool.
Well, you're talking about, and especially because you're talking about products not only that you've purchased, but you have an interest in. Like I can bore you to death about the Godox 860 flash, right? And I've owned them for years. I love them. I use them in all of my photographic work. And like I said, I can talk your ear off about it. Now I get to do that in front of a lens, in front of my camera, to people who are listening and going like, okay, well, he's convinced of this. Let me order one. And I get a commission from that sale. And right now, just our shop has produced between $100 and $200 every month in residual income. And it's a nice little unexpected, we hope that now it'll produce more because the shop will be supported by the live stream, by the Amazon live stream. And we're hoping it generates a little more. Now, whether or not that ever exceeds, I was watching one user, Amazon live streamer just the other day, and she had $1,100 viewers watching. Wow. So that's got to be producing some sort of revenue as they buy the things. And she was talking, her thumbnail looked very oriented towards makeup,
Mhm.
right? But she was selling Canon cameras and Canon lenses and the big dollar items that if somebody buys is a big commission for you as well. So we'll have to see. Our first show is Monday at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and we'll just have to see how it works. We're just we have a very specific niche when it comes to video, audio, photographic technologies. And so we'll have to see how it works out for us. But, like I said, we've waited, I don't know, a year now. We've been applying for about a year now and finally got okayed 2 weeks ago.
That's fantastic. But Amazon Live seems to be something geared more towards a slightly more advanced, I'll say, podcaster or people that are more comfortable with video. What would you say would be the best thing for the average business person? What do you think could be a good thing in your wheelhouse that an average business person could use in their business?
So you mean in terms of communicating with the outside world, with their prospective customers?
Yeah,
I think any business has to get used to the idea that the new normal, whether you can blame it on the pandemic or not, is going to be communications over the internet. And the sooner you can get comfortable with an iPhone or any other smartphone as your camera and your means of communications through one of these streaming applications. You and I right now, although we're only recording audio, we're looking at each other on Zoom. The sooner you can get comfortable with the idea of sitting in front of a camera and communicating, inviting your clients, your prospective customers to talk with you, the sooner you can get comfortable with that, the better, the more likely it is that you're going to survive through this period. I have a friend, and he's so good a friend that I don't charge him for any of this, but he owns a used photo equipment supply store. And it's a little dusty store in the center of Albuquerque that he's had for 30 years. And I told him, Art, you need to move on. You need to move this. And I helped him set up, he has a little office in the back. I helped him set up a way to communicate, had him set up a YouTube channel, show the products that have just come in. People still buy these, these cameras that use film. He still sells film. He sells processing. So it's a cool little niche that he needs to get comfortable with. And he kept saying, Toby, I'm just not that technical. And I said, Art, the technology issues have been taken away. All you have to do is click a couple of buttons,
Yeah.
And
that's one advantage to me of this pandemic, is that so many of the issues that used to be so difficult are becoming easier and easier.
Yeah. And, we teach a course called our boot camp, the Creative Campaign Framework Boot Camp. And we commit to you that in 1 week, with about 2 to 3 hours a day worth of effort, at the end of that week, you will have a live stream channel, a podcasting channel, a blog, and you will have your first product, your first piece of content on each of those, your YouTube channel, your Anchor FM podcast, and your WordPress blog. So if we can teach you in a week, and we've had clients, our ideal client is what we refer to as an encore entrepreneur, a senior citizen who's moving on to the second career in their life. So they're not the most adapted to this kind of technology, but they learn in a week and they get comfortable with it. And even our most difficult, the most challenging clients that we've had, were able to do it in a week. And we also, in addition, offer 60 days worth of free follow-on consulting to make sure that if they have any problems, they can check in with us and we can walk them through it.
Hey, Toby, you got to tell me, how do I get more information about that boot camp? I may even want to go through it.
The best way to do it is, of course, you can go to our website at AGK Media Studio. And there are several buttons on there that will enable you to either sign up to become a guest on one of our podcasts or live casts, or to enter it's a page that explains what the boot camp is all about. And then you can make a decision from there.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
It's been
everybody. I'm going to have the links to that in the show notes as well. So if you go to portbell.com/61, you're going to be able to get links to their website, and I'll have links to both their YouTube livecast and their podcast. I'll even see if I can't get a link to their Amazon livecast, if I can do that. Toby, thank you so much for being on Easy SEO and More.
It's been a pleasure. And thanks for I like this idea, this short form podcast that you're doing. So thank you for inviting me and letting me get in as much as I have for this period of time.
No, awesome. Yeah, no, it was great. We ran over just a bit, but I don't care. This was awesome. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.